In this video, we're going to have a look at how I've completed this owl with colour pencils. This one's a little bit different to the usual tutorials that I do. This owl is only around 11 centimeters high, which is a lot smaller than my usual colour pencil art. But we're going to talk through how I got all of those little details in. But first, if you're new here, hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a colour pencil artist, a mum, and I make tutorials over on Patreon. I'm going to have a series of smaller pieces like this coming out, so make sure to like and subscribe to be notified for when these come out. So let's have a look at the owl. When working at a smaller scale, I suggest using a quality sharpener or better yet, a colour pencil sanding block. It's affordable and helps you maintain fine pencil tips without excessive sharpening and waste. Begin with the eyes by outlining the dark shapes and building up the yellow colour. Accurate pupil placement is key for realistic results. Use light pressure initially, and once satisfied, add layers to deepen the tones. Using some of the black to gently shade at the very top to darken some of the shadows at the very top of the eye. Here I'm also using a white gel pen just to do 2 little dots on each of the eyes, just put that really tiny highlight section in. It makes all the difference. Getting started with the beak, we're doing a base of the warm grey 1 and then starting to use the cold grey 3 to add some of the little lines around the eye and then build up that feather texture around the beak, using really sharp pencil strokes to do some little lines to make it look like the feathers are overlapping the beak, and then starting to get a little bit darker with the black. The key to this is just to use really soft, light pencil strokes. Beginning at the top of the head, I'm using the black just to go through and map out where we can see all of the darker shadows and black dots on the top of the head. Once they're in, we can go through and put down a base of the cold grey 1 and then start to build in some of the cold grey 3. So when we're working on the feathers, we want to do our pencil strokes from the outside towards the middle, and you want to fan them out in the direction that the feathers are going around the face. So pay attention to your reference photo and have a look at the way that the feathers are moving around the face. Generally at the top of the head they go up, and then from each of the eyes they fan out to the left and the right. When you're doing your base layers, you just want to make sure that you're fanning your pencil strokes out in these directions. We're going through with the very tip of the pencil, really light strokes, and we're spacing them out so that we really gently build up that colour. We can flick some of the pencil strokes in the direction of the feathers and then flick them back so that they're tapering out towards the eye. So this will make it look like the lighter feathers are overlapping the darker shadows. And then we just start to build up from light to dark. So we'll do that with the cold grey 1, cold grey 3, and then we can start to build in some of the colours. So we use some of the purples, blues. This is what gives you that depth of colour, by using those really subtle tones to bring out the highlights and the darker areas in the feathers. One of the comments I get the most is that this is just going too fast. So if you feel like this is going too fast for you, this is a full real-time tutorial over on Patreon. You get given the reference photo, the line art, the material list, and step-by-step instructions of how to complete this one all by yourself. And then we pretty much just go through and start to do the same process throughout all of the feathers. It's best to go in with a darker pencil, map out where you can see all of those dark lines, all of those little details in the feathers, and I'm just working on sort of one small clump at a time rather than the whole bird. And then you can start to put in your base layers, like the warm or the cold grey 1, start to add some of the cold grey 3, also some of the colours we can see. So I'm always using the blues and purples for this one, also adding in some of that dark Naples ochre and a little bit of beige red. This will warm it up a little bit in some spots where it needs it, and adding a blue tone into those white feathers will help them seem a little bit more white. It sort of gives them a little bit of a shine, which helps them look a little bit whiter. But when you're putting this down, you also just want to glaze it really nicely on the side. You don't want to go through, put down really hard blue, purple or yellow sections, just really lightly glazing it down. So although this is a smaller scale, it does have a lot of details in it considering sort of how small it is. So like I said before, it is just really good to break it down into smaller sections. So I'm working on little clumps of feathers at a time, and it just helps to make it a little bit more manageable. It doesn't get so overwhelming, but breaking it down into smaller sections and then evaluating it at the end is always a really good option for pieces like this with so much detail in it. Okay, so this bigger section is where it starts to get real. Trying to map out all of these just means you need to pay really close attention to your reference photo. use a really light pressure on your walnut brown or even burnt umber would be fine to use, and just going through and putting all of the darker sections. Once you've sort of mapped it all out, then you can go back up to the top and just start to build in that color really, really lightly. So because we're working at a smaller scale for this one, you don't have to go through and put all of the little tiny details that you can see in all of the feathers. You just want to make sure that you're getting the lighter and darker tones on each of the feathers and the clumps of feathers in the right spot to make each section look darker or lighter. So at the front of the bird on the left hand side, you want that to seem a little bit darker than the right hand side, because up on the right hand side is where the light is coming from. So then the shadow would be on the left hand side of everything pretty much. So anywhere that the right hand side is overlapping the left, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of a shadow. Make sure to take your time, pay attention to where you can see all of the colors as well. We're glazing these in really lightly and just building it up really gradually. Don't think that you need to go in with a really hard pressure, get it all down in one sort of go. We sort of go back each section, build up the layers really lightly, and then continue to do this. When you're going in with really light layers, it allows you to get different levels of depth in the piece. If you're maxing out your pencils every time you're sort of doing a layer, it'll all seem matte and the same tone. But if you put in really light pressure, you can build it up really gradually, which gives you different levels of color for each of the sections. But I know this explanation goes a little bit too fast for people, so if you do want to complete this one by yourself, it is a full real-time tutorial over on my Patreon. I really hope that you liked this video and you learned something from it. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys.